Today I'm sharing some easy and delicious dinner recipes with you. If you're new, I'm Amy. I'm a wife and a mom to a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I like cooking with you. So today I'm sharing these 3 recipes. I don't know about you, but I don't like to spend a ton of time in the kitchen making dinner every single day. Sometimes an extravagant meal can be fun, but every day it's nice to have quick and easy and delicious meals that everyone in the family enjoys. I do include the recipes and the links to any recipes that I've found in the description below, so be sure to check that out, and let's go ahead and get started. Tonight for dinner, we're doing something super easy. I'm doing some orzo that I'm cooking up in the Instant Pot. I don't believe I've ever made just like pasta or orzo in the Instant Pot without any like chicken or anything, but have a zucchini from my parents' garden, so I'm going to use that. It's going to be really tasty with the orzo. I have some leftover vegetable broth. I'm not sure if I have enough, but I'll just substitute water if I don't. I have some parsley. This is like 2 weeks old, and I just did the whole trick of like putting it in water and putting it in the fridge. For 2 weeks old, it looked pretty good, but it wasn't super fresh. And then I have some Parmesan. This is probably about 3/4 of a cup to a cup of freshly shredded Parmesan. I'm gonna go ahead and shred up the zucchini. What I've noticed is if you just shred it, the seeds just kind of stay on this side of the shredder, so I can just throw all the seeds away. I don't have to do anything special to get rid of them. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull off the good looking leaves and just break them up with my fingers. In my Instant Pot, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of butter. And from what I can tell, you wanna do about double the amount of liquid to orzo. So I'm gonna do that. So it's about 2¼ cups per pound. So that means I'm gonna use about 4½ cups of liquid. I had about 2½ cups of veggie broth. I added another 1½ cup of water. And I'm just gonna do 4 cups of liquid because I'm adding in the zucchini just raw, and that does have a lot of liquid already in it. I'm just doing the whole zucchini. You could also cut it in chunks. I do have a video where I made a pasta with zucchini and I just sliced it up and sauteed it.
What's your pasta?
That was also very tasty. I'll link that video below. I just roughly chopped up the parsley. I'm throwing that in. I don't have any garlic cloves left, so I'm just gonna pour in some garlic powder. I'm gonna add in some pepper and some salt. I'm gonna give it a good stir, cook it for 2 minutes, and then release the pressure. Then once it's done, open it up. I'm gonna add that Parmesan cheese and give it a really good stir. You could do chicken on the side or any sort of protein. We're just gonna do a big side salad. There isn't too much liquid in here. It actually looks really good. I'll show you closer up. So this looks perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the cheese. So I'm gonna add the cheese in and then I'll taste it to see if it needs any more seasoning. I'm adding a bit more Parmesan and more salt and a tiny bit more garlic, and I'll give it a taste. This is delicious. There's a nice kind of light cheesy flavor. The zucchini doesn't provide any flavor, but this would be a really great side dish, and we're excited to eat this for dinner tonight. I just put in some Poblano pepper that I sliced up and some corn. It's raw, I just cut it off the cob, and I'm gonna saute this. Now I'm gonna add in some black beans. I'm gonna add in some whipped cream cheese, about a ½ cup. And I did about 3/4 of a can of black beans. And I'm gonna add in about a ½ can of salsa. This is the kind that I'm using. Give that a stir. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it and see if it needs anything else. I wanna try and get a little bit of everything. Really good, a little bit cheesy, tiny bit of heat. And I love the texture of the beans and the corn and the peppers. These are the tortillas that I have. They're kind of a larger tortilla. It's not as large as a burrito, but not like taco or fajita size. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put my filling in there. Roll it up. I'm gonna bake these in the oven. You could air fry it. I'm gonna put a little bit of salsa on the bottom. And I'm just gonna place the tortillas in there. I don't have any enchilada sauce, and instead of putting the salsa on top, I'm just gonna put cheese. So the cheese and the top of the tortillas will get a little bit crispy, and the bottoms will stay soft from that salsa. So I think it should be a good combination. This is actually just cheddar. I don't have any Mexican blend cheese or anything like that. I'm gonna bake this at 350. I'm gonna start it at 15 minutes and see how it looks. We're gonna eat them now, and I reheated them in the toaster oven. They look so good. They're a little bit crispy on the top, but still nice and soft, and I'm really excited to give them a try. These were so delicious. I will definitely make these again, and I will say if you prefer to have meat, you could go ahead and add chicken or beef or ground turkey or whatever you'd like. I have a brand new cast iron that I'm currently seasoning for the first time in the oven, so I'm not going to use cast iron for this steak. I'm just going to be using a nonstick pan. But the first thing I'm doing is I'm adding some oil. I'm gonna let that heat up. My oil is almost hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the salt and pepper now. I did season both sides of the steak, and then I went over to the pan to cook it. I don't cook steak very often, so I think it could have had a better crust if I put the pan on a little bit hotter. But I did cook all of the sides of the steak, even kind of the smaller sides. Then I went ahead and added some fresh rosemary, some garlic cloves that are just whole, but I peeled them, a tablespoon of butter, and then I went ahead, kind of put the butter on top of the steak. I also used a meat thermometer just to make sure the steak was cooked. I do think you could use any sort of steak, just make sure and like marinate it depending on what sort of steak you're using. I think you could marinate it in like soy sauce or tamari and some oil. I think that would be really good if you're going to marinate steak this way for this recipe. Then I went ahead and covered it, cooked some corn in the microwave. I did learn that you can cook it in the microwave. I just learned that this summer, but it's super easy. I did leave it just kind of whole. I didn't peel it or shuck it first, and I cooked it in the microwave. It works really well. And then I went ahead and opened it up. You can see it's just a really clean ear of corn. There's not that many strings. I went ahead and I cut the corn off of the cob, and we're going to make a really delicious salad with the corn and the steak and some cheese and some greens. I do think this salad can be made a lot of different ways. I used Parmesan, but you could definitely use any sort of cheese you'd like. And I also kind of show all of the ingredients that I used. We loved this salad. But I think the thing that made it the most delicious was I actually took the juices from the steak that had been sitting there for a few minutes, and I put that on top of the steak and on top of the salad, like on top of the greens. So it was just such a good flavor altogether for this dish. We loved it. And I think you can make a variation with chicken and use corn and Parmesan and the greens, but this was a really tasty, perfect dish for summer. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I love sharing what I'm cooking in my kitchen, and these recipes were all really tasty. They were easy, And don't forget to check out the description for the recipes. I also do include WW points and calories if you're interested in that. But we loved all of these, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.